Mission Pro Wrestling, the symbol of excellence in women's sports entertainment.
Oh my goodness. Hey Mission Pro fans. So I just want to give a quick disclaimer before we start. I'm not too sure if I'm going kind of slow for you guys or not. On one end it looks fine to me. On the other end I keep lagging and freezing. So I'm not too sure. We're gonna have to, see where this takes us. I don't know what's going on with my technology today. It's just not really working. So y'all can go ahead and tell me if if I keep freezing for you guys or not, because I'm not sure if I am or not, because it's frozen right now. And I don't know if it is for you guys as well. So I don't know. If you see me freeze, you can still hear me talk, so it's okay. And that's what you all are here for, is for the women's wrestling news. So as long as I got a voice, we're all good. Even if I freeze up, you don't have to see my face half the time anyways to know if I'm excited about talking about something, because you'll be able to hear it. And hi, Jenna. You are not late for once. I'm so proud of you. Some claps for Jenna. Some claps for Jenna. Come on. Yeah, so this episode, there's not too much to talk about, but there's also a lot to talk about. And I feel like I say that a lot with these episodes, honestly. But yeah, when I go through and I get I get our interns to make the slides. No. Okay. We were doing so well. We got 2 minutes in. Never mind. Never mind. Oh my goodness. Anyways, yeah, I got the interns to make the slides as usual, and they, didn't come up with a lot. But there is still a lot that we're going to talk about. We're probably going to be on at least one of the slides for 10 minutes, honestly. So you know what? Just to do it, I think we should just get straight to it. Alrighty, here is... Okay, am I back? I hope I'm back. Sorry, guys, this is really throwing me off here. Let's start off, the huge topic that everyone's been talking about. It's been everywhere. And it's insane, because what is going on? Wait, what? The title of this show, Let's Light It Up. So, let's light it up. Let's talk about her. AJ Lee is back, you guys. 2025, AJ Lee is in the ring. What is going on? Oh my goodness. Yes, let's light it up. AJ returns. I do not think I wrapped my head around this yet. I watched it live. I was like, because, everyone was saying, oh, AJ might come back. AJ might come back. And I was like, I'm not really buying it too much. I was like, I don't know. Because I've been with the collective, people that have gotten their hopes up a lot. For an AJ Lee return every single time, that people are like, oh, AJ's gonna come back, AJ's gonna come back. I would get my hopes up. So at this point, I was like, no, I don't think so. I was trying not to get my hopes up too much, but the closer that we kept coming to the time that she did eventually come back, I was like, wait, maybe I should get my hopes up a little bit. Maybe just a little bit. Yeah, so AJ did make her miraculous return on SmackDown. It's been over 10 years, which is insane to me, because I was 6 or 7 when AJ retired, and honestly, I don't even remember that. That was the time that I was starting to get a little out of wrestling. But before that, when I was super into wrestling, when I was younger than that, I remember always watching AJ, and I was just alive. I remember watching AJ, and I always loved. I definitely she was one of my favorites. It was her and the Bella Twins, which I think that's like a stereotype. Not a bad stereotype, but that's pretty stereotypical for what girls around my age like. They usually say that these were their favorite wrestlers growing up was the Bella Twins and AJ Lee. Um, and yeah, and I did see National Carrot Cake Day. I am not too big of a fan of carrot cake. Let's just get that out of the way. My grandpa does love carrot cake. Regardless. Back to AJ Lee. The point here. Yes, I was like, I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Paige as well. Paige, for sure. Those are like the big four that people usually say. Um, around my age that girls will say they looked up to, or even guys. There's guys, no shame in the guys loving the girls. We love it, you know. But yeah, so it's so cool to see her back, and like I'm saying, I do not think that I fully processed it yet. I'm still like, wait, oh, she's here. Oh, wait, what? Like it's insane. But I'm so happy for her, and I'm so happy that, she did take the time away and she did get help when she did. And I loved how, she had a chant getting started for, like mental health and stuff, therapy, because, as a person who's gone therapy myself, I was like, yes, therapy. And it's crazy, but it's honestly so good to see her back, and she looks possibly even better than what she left. Like, what? Look at those abs. Look at that one picture with the abs. Like, okay, well, you can see her abs in every single picture, but specifically the picture in the middle, like, girl, she went to work for this return. Like, she was like, I am not gonna come back looking, all, chopped. She said, I am gonna make sure I look perfect. And she exceeded. She very much, excelled that. But yeah, speaking of that, AJ Lee is back. She came back to aid CM Punk. And with that, we are getting set up for Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins versus AJ Lee and CM Punk in the Big 2-5 at WrestlePalooza, I believe it is going to be at. Unfortunately, I am not going to be watching WrestlePalooza. But you guys can watch WrestlePalooza next week. I believe it is September 20th, and it's going to be on. I am honestly not too sure how it's going to work out because the whole ESPN thing. Not too sure how to go about that, but quick Google search will do you well, because trust me, that's what I've been having to do my whole life. But yeah, so I'm definitely so excited for this match. I'm gonna have to, watch the highlights from it. But I definitely do see AJ and Punk going over. Yeah, just because, yeah. Speaking of, should have been for WrestleMania. I don't agree with that. What I feel, or I don't know, there's a lot of different matches. The only reason I'm disagreeing is because there's a lot of different matches that you could say are WrestleMania caliber, but of course she can only have one. If, she does continue to, stay fighting throughout the WrestleMania season, she's only going to have one WrestleMania match, more than likely. Hi, Courtney. I see you in the chat. But yeah, so honestly, just this is a dream match. I mean, even if it's not at WrestleMania, it's still a huge match. So regardless, we're gonna get fed. Yeah, so this was like a huge match that people would speculate about. She did sign a multi-year contract. Okay, thank you for telling me that, because I did not know that. She signed a multi-year contract. Yay! Good for AJ. Yeah, so that means that she should be around for WrestleMania season, so we'll see what happens there. But this is definitely a huge match because a lot of people did want to see her team up with Punk for all these years now. So that's definitely going to be a huge match. And then another match that a lot of people are saying that I myself would love to see too is definitely something, I don't know, maybe a tag run, or, maybe, I mean, yeah, it would make more sense to be a 1v1 with AJ Lee and Roxanne Perez. I mean, the story writes itself, honestly. With all the history that they have, with all the history that, Roxanne meeting her and stuff and dressing as her, it's huge. So there's so many amazing matches that, like, those are just two that are off the top of my head, of course, because one of them is already booked. But there's so many other, like, dream matches that people have for AJ Lee, so it's going to be really cool to see. Hopefully some of them will unfold. But yeah, so there's a certain star that's gonna dress up as AJ Lee. Where is your sources from? Where are your sources from? Oh no, I love that though. That is so okay. I am ready to see the star dressed as AJ Lee. That is going to be beautiful. Who, Ridley? No, it's not gonna be Ridley. I do have news about Ridley later on, but that we'll get to that when we get to, my little indie report. Moving on, I'm gonna go ahead and just touch on NXT a little bit. Um, so it was the team of the Culling, which of course Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame. They defeated Fatal Influence and the team of Zaruka to be the number one contenders for the women's tag team championships. I believe it was for a number one contender. Tatum Paxley won, guys. We win. Get a little victory dancing for Tatum. Oh my goodness. I love this for Tatum. But afterwards, of course, Fatal Influence wasn't too happy, of course, because they lost, and so JC went on a rant, and JC was talking about that there's no way that they're, Fatal Influence is not going to be on the, NXT Homecoming show, which is No Mercy, so very, very upset. But then music hits again, and music hits again. Stephanie Becker, Rhea Ripley, and Tiffany Stratton showed up to NXT. Again, what is going on? It's like with AJ, like, what? Wait. Huh, pause. What just happened? Like, insanity. But that's I believe that this is going to lead up to possibly Stephanie, Rhea, and Tiffany going up against Fatal Influence, of course, 3 versus 3, and that match is going to be insane. Honestly, that it's going to cook. Get some snaps. And then one other small thing that I wanted to talk about for NXT this week was, I know he's a guy, but low-key, he one of the girls, you know what I mean? He's a fashionista. Was Tyler Breeze came back too. I'm like, what is up with all these, returns and huge, like, surprises? Like, okay, WWE, I see you, WWE. Like, insane week of wrestling for WWE for sure. Yeah, no, I'm like, it's so cool to see Tyler Breeze back, because I also really loved Tyler Breeze as a kid. That's honestly so cool, and that is what we got for NXT. And actually, I didn't even realize this until like yesterday, that we're having another Worlds Collide. Okay. So yeah, this is tomorrow, and so of course I'm not gonna watch it because I will be at another show that we're gonna talk about very, very soon. But regardless, so we do have some women on the card for Worlds Collide. We have Lola Vice teaming up with Mr. Iguana to face the Judgment Day members Finn Balor and Roxanne Perez, which, okay. Cook. Like, I feel like most of this match is just for the iguana puppet and the Finn Balor demon puppet. I'm gonna be honest here with you. I think they just threw in the women just to throw in the women. I don't know. But, you know, I love me some Lola, and I love me some, of course we love Roxy here. Mission Pro alum. We love Roxy. But, yeah, so this, I mean, I'll watch the replay. I will watch the replay, of course. And then we also have, hang on. I think I have to write the name down because I knew I was going to forget it. Fale Apache versus Natalia. Sorry if I butchered that. And actually, it's for the #1 contendership for the AAA Reina de Reina championship. And yes, I was gonna mention it is in Vegas. Yes. But so, you know, when I was researching this right now, I was like, oh, okay, Natty, you know, I feel like, you know, Apache might go over Natty just because, you know, it's Natty, and the way that they, you know, have Natty differed from, Natalia, sorry. I keep saying Natty, because I'm so used to calling her Natty, but now Natty is a whole different person from Natalia. Oh my goodness. Wow. So, you know, since I was thinking, okay, Natalia is a whole different person than Natty, you know, Natalia is probably going to lose. They might honestly have Apache go over, right? But then Natty posts the picture in the middle. She posted that on her Instagram, and she was like, yeah, it's going to be Natty. And I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, Miss Girl. Okay. But yeah, so we are gonna see Natty go against Apache, and that is gonna be a match because, you know, I mean, I think we've said it before on here. Like, honestly, Natty is so incredible. Excuse me. Natalia, of course, she's incredible, but when you see that different side of her in Natty, I just think that is so, like, I love, like, the duality of it. I definitely love characters who can, like, switch like that. That just seems so fun to me. So now, officially, my pick is going to be on Natty. Oh, and for the tag team, I'm not too sure who I want my pick to be in this. Let's think. What do you guys got? Who do you guys got? Let me think. I honestly, just because they're the faces in the situation, I'm gonna go ahead and say Mr. Iguana and Lola Vice, because, you know, maybe it'll be the heels. I don't know. We're just gonna have to find. We're gonna have to watch and see. I will have to watch later though. A little a little bit of AEW news. You know, there was a couple matches, but one of the big highlights that I had saw was Toni Storm. And I mean, I think we've said it so many times on Spotlight. Toni is so amazing. Toni is so amazing. We love Toni Storm here so much. Yeah. The pictures say it all, honestly. So much happened in that match. You know, she was over here smashing bottles, stapling certain areas, getting certain areas stapled. Let's just say it was kind of like Stud Stash's old piercings. If you get the reference, you get the reference. Stud Stash's piercings. Oh my goodness. And yeah, and then there's just the cheese. Yeah. Cheese. She really said cheese for the camera. She really said cheese for the camera. And then she got knighted by oh my goodness, I am so gonna say this. I feel like I'm so gonna get his name wrong, and I feel so bad. Sandman. It may or may not be Sandman. No, I feel like it's not Sandman. I completely blanked on the guy's name, but apparently he's a legend, and I feel really bad, so I am so sorry if I offend anyone by not remembering the guy's name. I'm so sorry. I will make your thighs shake and your body quake. and I will leave you. I can't even get through the quote. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Tony's just such a masterpiece. Tony is so unique. Yeah. Tony, never change. Never go bald. On to the last slide of news this week. We kind of have a short episode. We did have a lot to talk about. But again, like I said, we got a lot to talk about, but a little to talk about at the same time. Yeah, so there's actually 2 shows this weekend in San Antonio. I unfortunately will only be going to one. We have Hybrid School of Wrestling presents Wake Me Up When September Ends. Sorry, I love that song. But that is actually tomorrow. We have a Friday show for Hybrid, which we don't have them too often, but we have it this week. So depending on how much time I get and how tired I feel after school tomorrow, I may or may not show up to Hybrid in construction gear. I may or may not. School spirit days are so much fun, but then, you can get really drained from a day, so I might just show up in my construction gear because I'm not going to want to change when I get home. So I don't know. I may or may not, I may or may not look like Crash Lawson. Anyways, onto the actual match. We have one women's match on the card. Excuse me. We do have some other girly friends on the card, but this is the one women's match. And it actually has changed. The graphic is still the same, but it was going to be a triple threat. It was going to be Ridley Thorne versus Zygold and versus Calientita. But unfortunately, Ridley did undergo surgery last week, and it's very unfortunate, but she's resting up now. She's going to be out for a couple weeks. I believe she said 4 to 6 weeks. So definitely sending all our prayers to Ridley. Sending all the prayers to Ridley, hoping for a speedy recovery, and I'm sure she's going to be back better than ever after those 4 to 6 weeks. And yeah, so it is unfortunate that she's not going to be on the card, but she'll be back. She'll be back before we know what I feel. So from what I know of, it's still going to be Zygold versus Calientita for tomorrow. Moving on to Sunday, unfortunately, I was planning on going, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it to RCW for unforeseen reasons. And I should have just made a whole separate slide for this because I realized how small the graphics look now. I apologize for that. But, we do have some women's action and some news for it. First off, of course, it was going to be the team of Savage Dreams, which is Denise Day and Ridley Thorne. It was going to be them going up against Fire and Fury, Morgan Mercy, Nova Phoenix for the inaugural RCW Women's Tag Team Championships. Now, like I just said, Ridley is now out and she is not cleared to compete. So someone will be replacing her. We don't know who, but someone will be replacing her. So that's going to be really cool to see. I'll be watching from Title Match, so I can't wait to see who is going to be the replacement, because I'm sure it's going to be someone really awesome. As for picking who wins now, I don't know, because it depends on who Denise's partner will be, because with Savage Dreams and Fire and Fury, I was like, I don't really want to choose one, but I could kind of have a thought process of who might win. But now with Denise having the disadvantage and not having a partner, that's like, how am I supposed to choose here? I just feel like maybe it will be Fire and Fury going over, just because of the fact that Denise isn't gonna have a lot of time to go over strategizing with this person, unless they're really close. Then you know what? That absolutely works, and good for Denise. She'll pull it off with her partner. Oh, okay. I see Celine Hysteria. That's crazy. Um, it could be anyone. It could be Celine. It could be, what if Callie decides, I want some more gold. Let me show up. There's so many different people it could be. So honestly, I don't know who it could be. Celine Hysteria is like a really, really, really crazy like hat pull, but I love that. That would be really, really cool. Um, so I'm not really gonna choose who's gonna win for that one, just because I have no clue. And then next we have Emmy Camacho defending her RCW Phoenix Championship against Shay Carmichael, who I don't believe or she might have been in San Antonio a couple times, but I don't believe we've seen Shay much in San Antonio since Mission Pro went on hiatus. So that's gonna be so cool. I'm so bummed that I'm not gonna be able to see Shay this weekend because I always loved seeing her. She's so sweet. Of course, love my Mission Pro family. As well as Emmy, but I did get to see Emmy earlier this year, and I haven't seen Shay in over a year. But yeah, so I don't know because both these women have been at Mission Pro, and they are both insanely talented. So maybe Emmy's reign will come to an end, and Shay Carmichael will take over. Who knows? And then for another women's match, we also have Calientita defending her RCW Women's Championship against Raylan. And again, these women have also been at Mission Pro before. I believe all the women on this card, except with possibly maybe not the mystery partner for Denise, all of these women have been at Mission Pro. So that's so cool to see, even though Mission Pro is on hiatus, you can still catch these ladies everywhere, and you can definitely catch them in San Antonio. And it's gonna be at RCW. One more thing before I start ending this is Felicia Extreme is going to be inducted into the RCW's honors class. And basically, if you don't know what RCW honors is it's basically like a Hall of Fame, but for RCW. So very excited for her. I love Felicia so much. I've known her for a little under a year now, coming up on a year in like October. So sweet. And from what I've heard, she's done so much because of course I haven't been in like independent wrestling for too long, or super into independent wrestling for too long, so I don't know personally, but I've heard so many great things about Felicia, and how she's done so much work, and helped so many people. So that is so awesome to see. Congratulations to Felicia Extreme for being inducted into the RCW Honors Hall of Fame. So happy for her. But yeah, so that is all for RCW Honors. You can catch it on Title Match Network live, or you can go in person and try to snag yourself one of the seats left. There's a couple seats left. I unfortunately, like I said, I'm not going to be able to go, but there are a couple of second row and first row seats left, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, unless they all got sold out within like 7 hours. No, 12 hours, excuse me. And there is, last time I checked, there was a couple balcony seats left. So, if you're in or around the San Antonio area and, you want to catch some women's wrestling, along with a lot more different kinds of wrestling, there's also men on the card, of course. And also, get introduced into, introduced to RCW and, see the RCW honor ceremony in person, and you got that money, go. It's going to be at the Good Shepherd Lutheran Activity Center off of Goliad in San Antonio. Go to RCW, go to their website, go to their Instagram. You can find all of their information there for it, along with the tickets and stuff. But yeah, so that's RCW, and of course you have Wake Me Up When September Ends on tomorrow, actually. So we got the show on Friday, and you got a show on Sunday. So support your local independent wrestling as always. And yeah, so that's all I got for this week. So it was a kind of a short stream, but we were having technical difficulties as well. But we did yap a lot, and I'm glad that you guys were here to yap with me. yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Mission Pro Spotlight. And remember to go follow the Mission Pro Spotlight Instagram, which is MPW_Spotlight, because we are currently revamping the Instagram page because our interns were kind of lacking there for a little bit and like not posting anything. Um, so we are currently in the process of revamping it and getting things back in order, so that we can be giving more information to you guys out on the Instagram, as well as, you'll get reminders if you subscribe and you turn on the notification bell. You'll get reminders whenever we go live with Mission Pro Spotlight on here on the YouTube channel. Make sure to leave a like. As always, thank you guys for joining me in the live comments. It always makes me so happy to see you guys, in here live. It's always so awesome. It's a blessing what I get to do. I know I talked about this 2 weeks ago, but I am starting another podcast in partnership with my school. You can catch it at thewarhorse.net. I am currently the top story on there, which is insane to say. So grateful for that. All it is a little introduction about me, thewarhorse.net. And soon I will be posting up more stuff about, local independent wrestling, introducing a little bit of it, recapping stuff. So, it's going to be so much fun. So, of course, yeah, it is always so, amazing when you guys support me. I thank you guys for that. And of course, follow my Instagram too. Plugging all the socials right now. And that was all for today's stream. Stay safe, guys. Cheese man, chill. Wait, let me grab my water. Remember to cheese man, chill. And I will see you guys next week. Stay safe, stay hydrated, cheese man, chill. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.